And welcome inside the backstage pass. Of course, almost to the weekend, getting real close here too, around the corner, and Labor Day coming up next week. And welcome in the month of September here as we're presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and, of course, Honky Tonk Texas, keeping us going here on the backstage pass, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. You can also catch us on internet radio out there at HighTideCountry.net if you ever miss an episode. And I tell you what, this album made me think a lot about my childhood and welcoming him back to the show. And the brothers, I tell you, we love him here on the podcast every time we get a chance to talk to him. Of course, the younger brother of Lee Brice, Lewis Brice, joins us back here on the program here on the Backstage Pass. Lewis, how you doing, brother?
Oh, I am doing fantastic. Glad to be home. Glad to be home for a few days. It's been a fun summer. So
I can only imagine. And what about a hot summer, dude? Can we get rid of these hot temperatures?
Buddy, I mean, I was in Boston a few days ago, and I flew home. And when I got out of the car waiting on my wife to come pick me up, I was like, it was like 5 minutes, and I was like, it's like big hot here. I mean, I think I was riding down the road today, and my speedometer, or whatever temperature gauge, read like degrees. I was like, it can actually show that many numbers, you know.
I started my truck up today too, coming from doing an errand. And left it outside there for, I don't know, 3-4 hours. So started it up, the outside temp button. And keep in mind, no visor to cover up the front windshield. It literally said before I started it up, it touched the car on the inside, the console, 111 on the air in Texas. Like it was just, it's brutal.
It is right now. It was kind of at the beginning of the summer. It was a little here. It was a little not too bad. And it was a lot of rain. But man, right now we're in the whew. And the thing about Tennessee is you don't have a middle in between. It goes winter, a day or two of spring, summer, hot, straight from hot, like super hot to like pretty much winter.
That's the South we live in too, brother. Well, hey, I got to see the performance where I break down the songs of the album. Congratulations. Product of came out July 28th. Great songs out there, 10 of them, in fact. On that record too. We're going to break down a lot of it. Here is going to be the impact that these songs are having for country music fans out there. But I want to start with what I saw and a lot of the country saw there on the great morning show that is Fox and Friends. You guys taking that song that is so true to your roots, Product of, and getting to perform that on that great morning show. Tell us all about that and the recap of Fox and Friends and getting to play Product of.
Oh man, Fox and Friends was an absolute delight. They were they're great crew over there. And I was like, I was blown away. That's probably my biggest national spot on TV. And so, man, we just went in there. It was a great experience. I've been to New York City a couple times, but never really like to go to perform and hang out. And we had everything set up pretty cool. We were staying right there pretty much in Times Square, pretty close to it anyway, and right there by the station. But man, it's such an honor to play a song of mine. I wrote it with a couple of buddies of mine, Mark Addison Chandler, Taylor Goyer, my buddy. I can't remember all the names now. Josh. Oh man, I'm having mind blanks. But either way, a bunch of my good buddies. We wrote. And once we got done with it, because the day we wrote it, they just wanted me to kind of tell them who I am. Josh Gallagher is his name. There it is.
Yeah, there you go.
He's great. He's a great artist himself, and so is Taylor. But we were writing the song. We just said just kind of start talking, and we had this idea of Product of, and I was like, this is what I'm a product of. I'm a product of, I'm from Sumter, South Carolina, and my daddy was an electrician. My mama did like an RN, but she did insurance stuff, and then eventually she just helped my dad. Once he took an early retirement, he had to start his own business for just doing housework, and we started doing running mobile homes and like doing running wire to mobile homes, and then we ended up lighting up baseball fields and football fields, and but I helped him run the business and watch after him, and so that's kind of what we did. Backyard was a cornfield for a long time.
Pretty cool to have the family kind of message come out of that too. You mentioned, dad doing this and mom doing this. And of course, growing up with a brother who's very successful in this thing called the music business, to sing that song with him and knowing you guys come from that very same background of just growing up with great family. Pretty cool to create a song that means so much and it's very family oriented, right?
Oh, absolutely. I was super proud of it. It's just, most of my music, the music I put out there is definitely, spots in my life that I've been able to put out there. And, it was a blessing that my brother wanted to jump on Product of, because originally I had planned on releasing it by myself. And already like mixed mastered it. They already shot a video for it with just me in it. And then we were having like a marketing strategy about what I want to put out on it, and how I want to put out. And in the middle of it, Lee was like, well, I kind of think if there is a song I'm gonna be on. I know I didn't write it, but it's pretty much talking about our family and me, and stuff. And I was like, he said, this would be the one, because it makes sense for him to be on this song. It feels like a beer drinking song or a partying song. It just wouldn't have the same meaning, I don't feel like. And so just for me, I was so proud to have him on it up there with me on the first time on big TV, and having a little family affair, and in the video and stuff. I was really, really awesome that I was able to go home and shoot that in Sumter, South Carolina. And I was able to get my parents in it too. I kind of told them as I was coming into town, said, "Hey guys, I'm coming there with a camera. Y'all will be in my video."
Throw the old switcheroo on them and tell you, "Hey, guess what? Surprise! You're in this thing." Just like I am too as well. It's pretty cool to see all the success that, man, and Nashville's opened back up, and it's just a really cool feel for it again, that so many artists are doing their thing, their brand of music. Tell me about this, the health of the industry now. I feel like it's stronger than it's ever been. And every time you turn the corner, especially in a great town like Nashville is, there's a great artist playing somewhere, a great songwriter doing their thing. What's your overall thoughts of the way the industry is right now?
I think the industry has definitely made definitely a full comeback. I feel like they're hitting on all cylinders, and if anything, even a bigger impact, because there's since COVID, we've had so many more artists come out on the like independent circuit and everything, and so there's much music out there. I mean, there's a lot of new artists that since the past couple of years, and man, it's just I think it's thriving right now. And for me, I've been very proud to be able to stay in it myself. Even when we weren't playing, I was still busy, and I was able to put together a couple of house tours, and during that time, whenever we weren't able to play clubs and stuff like that. So right now, I can't say anything but blessed, because I put out a song during COVID, and or just Run That World, and that ended up being one of my biggest songs. I mean, it's just it's crazy how this business works. I'm very fortunate to still be in it, and as long as I keep on doing that right there, I got I'm gonna stay right in it.
That's all we do, baby. Keep trucking, no doubt. Hey, take me back to a couple. We'll get to some more off this record here. But I loved, even through the pandemic, you mentioned putting out songs that connect with people so much. That's a given. I wanted to go back to that one too at the same time, because great feel for that song, resonated well with country fans, and I know for you guys, a great message sent too.
Oh yeah, it's really good. That's a given. I wrote that with a couple of my buddies, and it's just like a cool rock and roll song. And I was kind of in between singles and whatnot. I was, man, I got to put something out, and that song just hit home for me. So that's a given. I was like, like I was saying, kind of like talking about who I am, about my wife and everything. And so that's just a given. You got to work. But I'm right here, strong as a rock.
That's good stuff out there too. We'll get to a couple of more of those singles. Also going to break down some more off the album, again, Product Of, which is out there across all the digital platforms. Got to take a quick time out. More with Louis Brice here. It is the Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. Speaking of sports, high school football underway tomorrow. All the listeners will come back through the South here, CajunCountryRadio.com, and of course our friends over at HighTideCountry.net. A word from our friends at Bangtail Whiskey. I might have a glass of that tonight, depending on what meal I have, but it mixes well with great cocktails out there. Bangtail.com, and of course our friends over at EasyLiquor.com. Online shopping is the way to go now for this new century we're into. Coming back, more with Louis Brice. Hang tight. It is the Backstage Pass. Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
And back here on the show again, Louis Brice joining us here on the Backstage Pass, again powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com, HighTideCountry.net, and of course presented by our friends at Bangtail Whiskey, and of course over there Honky Tonk Texas, Product Of. Just running through a list of the songs on there made the cut, of course made the record out there Just came out July 28th. Appreciate the time today. Coming up tomorrow, great show here on the Backstage Pass. Hall of Famer. He's done it all in his career. Josh Turner coming by here on the Backstage Pass Greatest Hits album coming out September the 8th. So it'll be pleased to have Josh Turner here on the program next week. I call it my Hall of Fame week. It's going to be good here because it's going to be nice. Mo Bandy, T.G. Shepard, and Heath Wright of the band Ricochet. So we're loaded over the next few weeks here on the Backstage Pass. Pleased to have Lewis here today. So, hey, take me back a little bit to a couple of songs off of there from Product of too. Thanks for the Heartbreak. This one's already getting a lot of, kind of that robust, kind of that general feel, and definitely going through some experiences when it comes to songs out there too. At least the feedback I'm getting from several people. We love that Lewis Brice song. Thanks for the Heartbreak. Where'd this come from?
Oh man, I had that idea one day. I was in the gym and I was kind of thinking about, it's kind of a song kind of where I'm at in life right now and where I'm, because I'm super happy. I met the, the love of my life. I'm married right now. And, I kind of had an idea. I was like, I don't want to be like mean or anything, but I was going to say, if it wasn't for some of my exes, if I was stayed in some situations, I wouldn't be where I'm at currently. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of the basis of the idea. And I walked in and I was fortunate enough to wrote that song with Adam Wood and my buddy Kyle Jacobs, God rest his soul. He passed away this past year. And was one of the best writers in the world. And for me, I thought it was really special. A special thing. It's one of the first songs I've ever written with him. And I made it the song that we cut. My brother and him were really close. And so I think my brother had a song they were pushing out at the same time. So it's kind of a cool thing, and just be able to put a song out that he was on. And for me, when I heard the song, that's honestly it's probably one of my favorite songs on the record. And it came to the point, like I was saying a minute ago, whenever my brother kind of last minute said he wanted to be on Product of, Product of was to be the first single off the record. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, well, you know what? If I need to push it a little bit more, have a little more time, and like really kind of have a rant for Product Up to kind of hit, let's put a different song out. And it came out perfect. I was able to put out Thanks for the Heartbreak. It's got a cool groove to it. I mean, and I think lyrically it's really cool, and it sends a good message of like it's okay to be happy where you're at, and thank you for the past, because it's
we got to go through these life stages to get to where we're at now, which we're happier now, married, of course, all the good stuff. But hey, the exes, what did George say one time? They live in Texas. Exes live in so it's like go through those things to get to where you need to go, right?
I know. I got called the best ex ever. So I've never had any really mean, like too many mean songs about exes, but maybe one of them.
Well, I know what I got to really check out y'all did last year, which I loved, was Call Me Yours, which came out there in 2022. Again, just pumping out those singles to get just great material out to the fans. Let's talk a little backstory of that one.
Yeah, Call Me Yours. So crazy enough, that is the only song that I've ever put out that I wasn't a writer on.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So just the end of just before COVID hit, I put together a writers retreat somewhere in Tennessee, up in the mountains and the cabins. I think it was Evans Mill. That's a pretty Tennessee. Got a couple writers out there, and that week I got everybody to. Let me come back here. Did I lose you?
Back.
All right, cool.
There you go.
Yeah. So can you hear me good? All right, cool.
I got you. Yeah.
Yes, I put together a writers retreat, and we wrote probably about 7 or 8 songs that week. And so I actually put a couple of other songs out on this record, actually. And so songs, but this one song, they were all kind of writing for me. And so we're out that in my life again. That's whenever my wife now and I we were dating and stuff like that. And this thought was a really cool song, and I could put myself in the song because when they were writing. Kind of thinking to me, and I was like, man, when I heard it, I was like, dude, are y'all like in my head or something like that? It hit me to a point, and when I played it for my wife, she was like, oh, duh, that's a great song. So,
well, a lot of things you put out just are great songs, no doubt, including this one where you're just having fun with the guitar and you kind of got your legs underneath you too, and the guitar's up. You're doing your AC/DC rock impression, which I love this on a song called Living that came out last June too. How much fun with this? And also it looks like I see a lot of fun ask that question at the same time, but I probably answer it myself because you're doing just your great rock impression with that art cover for that single. So let's talk about Living.
Man, Living, that's one of my favorite like live songs. I've been closing my show with that here recently this year. So it's just a great closer because I got the idea. I mean, a lot of people has random place to get ideas. For me, you know, that song Dazed and Confused, Matthew McConaughey, he's like, you know what? People can tell you what to do all the time, but you just got to keep on living, man. And so I was like, let's go in there with that idea. And I wrote that song with Bob DiPiero and Jason Gant. And when we got done with it, I was like, man, that's just a hitter. It just that energy to it. You just want to get connected to. And when I'm playing it live, dude, it gets loud. Everybody gets pretty rowdy with it. But yeah, man, that's that wide open living the life song. So that's pretty much all it is. Being at the live show. And when I was thinking about the video for it, I was like, this video, if there's any video I'm gonna shoot for like a live video, this is what it's going to be like, you know, for like me playing on shows and everything. And I think we hit that one on the head pretty good. So
no doubt about that too. And now on the stage, I had to ask you about the live show. Have you done your kind of air guitar rock thing on your knees, like the album cover? Have you done that?
Part of my show, man. That's how I call that my brogo, or my on my stage yoga. When I go back, I can lift all the way back. I'll do that when I'm hitting my big note like that. And yeah, man. I try to stay flexible up there, but it's pretty high energy. So that's every bit of me on that picture.
I love it too. Great picture there too. As far as the idea for the photos, I always love to kind of hear the stories of where they come from and the art cover for singles or even albums like that too. For that particular song for Living, who did that for you?
So that picture that you see there, I actually shot that. That was in a photo. That was the same photo shoot. I released a song called Young a couple years ago. And I had a different photo shoot that we did this photo shoot and we never used this picture. And I was like, man, this picture has to be used for something. I mean, that's just too rock and roll. And so, yeah, we ended up, there was a whole shoot or whatever, but I actually used that one. And my hair was actually longer whenever I actually put that song out, but because I had shorter hair then, but yeah, that's just where that came from. It came from another photo shoot. I was like, that represents the whole song about living.
It definitely, it really does, and I love how you said, you know, kind of that throwback thing. Like I said, put that mic up and a guitar, just having fun with it too, and put that little rock impression in it too, having fun with a song like that too. Goodbye Beer off this album, product of. Let's dive into this one.
Oh, and that's the coldest beer out there, right?
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah, that song came from. It's kind of like a half true story, but it is. Goodbye Beer. That came from. Who did I write that with? I wrote that with Luke Preston and my buddy Joey. And so that started a whole. I had the idea again. When I came back in, I was like, man, I got something like Goodbye Beer. And I don't know how to write it across. So I kind of want to. I don't want it to be bad. I don't want to be sad. I want to be kind of happy. And so let's write both sides of the story. Let's write a breakup that goes into someone that realizes he's better off without that person because that said person was crazy or whatever. I don't know, something like that. But my buddy Luke, he said, yeah, man, we kind of started right. He was like, yeah, this one of my buddy's best friends, he just got engaged. He bought this girl like a, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on a ring, however expensive it was. He said, and then a couple days or after he got it for her, he gave it to her, and then I think just before the wedding, he found out that she was been hanging out with his like best friend like for time evidently. So he ended up letting her keep the ring and whatnot. But kind of the story kind of reminds me, man, dropped a couple grand on a gold band. Oh man, could in a brand new car.
It's a great country song. Goodbye Beer off that record to check out too. This one's cool because it really puts life in perspective, especially when you find the right love, and at the same time you're talking about that story, the kind of the feel of kind of what product of and how it led off the record and really set the tone for it. Right Love had a great feel to it, dude. Really did.
Thank you. And what's cool about that one is that's one of that's kind of my songwritery acoustic version of songs. That's like about the music, how I put it on there. I got some bigger full production stuff on there, some less production stuff on there. It kind of takes you for a ride. But that song, funny story, that is the fastest song I've ever written and put it on the record. Time I put it pretty much in the same day. So last year, at the very end of the year, my brother and I, we finished building his studio out at the farm, and we break it in. And about a week or two before, he said, "Hey man, I want to break in the studio. Why don't we use your band?" It says, "Okay, sure. Well, if we can break it in, might as well do some work while we're there." And a band, and we ended up cutting probably about 8 or 9 songs within 3 days, and started about 5 in the afternoon, and I generally didn't get home till about 5 a.m. And so after night 2, I think it was night 2 at second night of it, and I had to write the next day like 11 in the morning. So I'm rolling in at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. But on the drive home, I started thinking about my wife. I was like, hey, you know how awesome she's being this week. Just let me work, let me do my thing. She knows how much this, And I was like, man, that's the right love right there. I was like, oh, well, that's pretty cool. So literally on the drive home, I just started in my brain writing down lines, a little like lines that kind of flowed. Went to bed that night. I thought about writing it down. I said, nope. If I write it down, if I don't write it down, I remember in the morning, this could be a song. And so sure enough, walked in that room the next morning, 11 a.m. And me and my buddy Skip Black, I think I looked up at 11:45 and the song was done. And we wrote it, just came right out, wrote it real quick like. And then that night after I went back to the studio and I played it for my brother, and he was like, dude, we got to put this on the record. I mean, that's the right thing. And for me, there's a lot of different loves out there. You know, you got bad loves, you got crazy loves, you got, loves bring you down, loves bring you up. Me, I wanted to talk about the right love. That's where I'm at.
Which is a hell of a song. Crazy where the ideas come from. And isn't that the beauty of just, like you said, just having a retreat or something, or coming back from a fun thing, like you said, your brother and kind of that family time, putting a studio together, and the idea of where songs just come from out of nowhere. And it's like something's born there too. It makes me feel like in a good way that there's good therapy there. You don't have to pay for it. You just create it in your own mind. But at the same time, for you, it just feels like the things that you kind of have that penmanship for. Songwriting seems like it's therapy for you. Would you agree?
Yeah, it definitely is. It allows me to kind of get. I don't really talk a whole lot, and I'm not really shedding my feelings a whole lot. But in my music, you can tell where I'm sitting. Where I'm at. I think most of the time when I'm writing songs, and but what the good thing is I can always go back. Because I've been through. I've definitely had a heck of a life, and I've seen some ups and downs, and some mountains, and some rivers, and some great times, and so. I have all that in my repertoire, so it's fun to write about it and just my biggest thing about what I love about doing put music out there is, I just feel like there's somebody out there just want to hear whether I don't know which song it is, but they're going to hear one of these songs and decide to say, hey, you know what, I can do this, I can keep going, make it through this next level. I'm not the only one that's been through this bad situation. I'm not the only one that's happy now. I can be happy about it, being happy. And so for me, it's therapy to get my ideas out there, but it's also like I feel like the songs I try to put out there, trying to touch people to also relate and to let them know that they're not alone. I've been through things. People go through stuff.
Absolutely. Everyday life, brother. Do we get our head up off the pillow and put our feet on the floor and thank God for another day? We're always going through something there. And for me, I tell you, my pride and joy now of just being thankful for life, a supporting wife, and loving wife. That's why right love kind of fit me. And then I get to be a dad now for a three-year-old. It's just it's amazing. And so again, you play all this great music too, and somebody else appreciates it. You can see the reaction of this little human being that you love so much. It's just a cool thing being a dad and playing your music and playing a lot of these great country songs. There's nothing like it, brother.
And that's awesome. Fantastic, man.
And she's getting into country music, and you're a part of it too, and your brother, and of course all the great artists we've had here on the show. Let's break down before I take a break here. This was me, another one of those booming kind of anthems, if you will, especially for summertime. One called "Seeing Summer."
Oh yeah, that's that summer song. I got a pub deal about a year and a half ago. A new pub. Because I've had a small one, then I got to a bigger company. I played again with Dallas Davison and my brother and a few others, and so they've been hooking me up with a lot of great rides, a lot of great rooms, and but this ride just happened to turn up. It's a couple of my buddies. It's another three-way, and Andrew Capra, Clayton Shea, and my buddy Davey Arnold. And so I walked in, man, y'all. The only summer song I have is called "Summertime Vibes." I need a new summer song. And then I just didn't want to write any regular summer song. My buddy David said, man, what if we write a summer song, but not about summer? I was like, well, what do you mean? Let's write about a person named Summer. And I was like, oh, I get it. So yeah. And for me to be able to write that like years ago, back in middle school, I think I had a girlfriend named Summer. So I was like, all right, we can put a summer, have some kind of relation. That song came out, and whenever I was like, man, that thing's popping, dude. And I played with my publishing company, and they were like, man, that's a hit. Yeah, that's a smash. And so we I made a list of what songs we wanted to do, and I like it because it has a twist on it. It's not exactly so it has a summer vibe, but it's not necessarily. It's talking about a girl named Summer that that this dude met after some girl left him or something like that.
No, it's good stuff. And we'll talk about another one that ends the record here in just a little bit coming back from break. This is the Backstage Pass again, powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. And of course, tomorrow night, CajunCountryRadio.com will have all the coverage of high school football. The best in the state of Texas will be right there. We've done our homework, no doubt about it, too. And of course, looking forward to kickoff there. I'm going to talk a little sports with Lewis here coming back from the break, presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and, of course, over there at Honky Tonk Texas. You can check us out at hightidecountry.net. Coming back, more with Lewis Brice here on the program the last time out, and we'll have some fun with Rapid Fire. We always love that segment here on the show. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here on the show, Lewis Brice here, final segment here, talking a lot about the album that came out there July 28th, product of here on the Backstage Pass, again, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. If you missed it this week, we had Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame pitcher Bronson Arroyo. He stopped by to talk to us here on the show, get a little status of the rule changes in baseball, and of course, he's actually rocking it out now with a cool album out there too. So check out Bronson's interview. And of course, coming up over the next few days here on the Backstage Pass, Josh Turner going to stop by, Mo Bandy, T.G. Shepard, and next week it's loaded down Jenny Tolman and our good friend, of course, Heath Wright from the Hall of Fame band Grand Ole Opry members Ricochet coming by here on the Backstage Pass. See, Lewis leads off a string of just great artists after great artists after great artists, and it continues here on the shows coming up next week here, presented by Bangtail Whiskey and our friends at Honky Tonk Texas. Also check us out at hightidecountry.net, internet radio out of Oklahoma City. The last one on this record, Lewis, that I love so much was Shadow, and I really want to dive into this because I felt that whole, like, let's say external feel of kind of out-of-body experience, but it's like, man, if there's one thing I can always be afraid of in life, this song really depicted a little bit of, like, I understand what Shadow's all about. Tell us about this one.
Man, Shadow, that's another song I wrote on that Writer's Retreat I said I went on a couple years ago. That was the last song on the whole retreat, because we had written a whole bunch of songs. It was the last night, and that whole weekend I was like, man, yeah, I might have had a little couple spirits too. I was like, y'all, I need a piano song. I need a piano ballad. So I just went downstairs, and my buddy Adam came down with my buddy Will. And I was kind of playing a little bit of piano. I'm not a great pianist, but playing a little bit. I just kind of had this idea and kind of passing around. I was going, and at that time I was thinking about my soon-to-be wife at that point, and she was kind of all in my brain. And man, I said, man, what if you just think, I was like, yeah, for me, she's like smoking hot, man, and she's awesome, great person. Her personality is huge. She's like a shining light. And for me, it's like, I love her so much. I'm like, you know what? It's like, I'm almost like her shadow, because she's so bright. She shines off these things. Like, I'm just a silhouette, and I'm fine with that, because most of the time I'm in the spotlight, and I let her say it. I let her in the song, because I'm generally the one in the forefront and, lead the dance. But man, as far as I'm concerned, man, she's great at love, and she's great at loving me. And so, and we got the piano battle out of there, and I tried. It's funny. It's like, I tried to beat that song, like singing wise. I tried to replay it. I couldn't do it. That was the demo that we did that night that we cut about 2 years ago during COVID, or just 4.
And it makes the record and puts a finishing touch on the entire album product of. So if you guys haven't heard these songs or get to dive into it like I do, go experience it. Great stuff out there from Lewis Brice there too. All right, let's do a little rapid fire. Hey, the landscape of college football, holy crap. This money continues to change. Remind people again, what you're looking forward to this season too, because now you got like Oklahoma, Texas, going to the SEC, which to me is the best conference. You got all the Pac-12 folding and going to the Big Ten or some other conference out there. University of Houston, Big 12 this year. It's going to be a pretty fun year for college football.
Oh, dude, we're going to be I'm a huge Clemson fan, by the way. So I'm just going to get that out there. I'm so excited about this season. I'm kind of wondering why they put Florida State at 7 and us at 9. I'm not sure. that, but
I didn't get that. No.
Yeah, I don't get that either. But that's good. At least you got some more rankings in the ACC, which says because SMU obviously SEC is powerhouse. It really is.
Oh, yeah.
Bigger and bigger, stronger. Us at Clemson, man, we're looking forward to this year. We got our home opener September 4th against Duke on a Monday night football game.
There you go.
Yeah, so we're excited about that. I think Garrett Riley, that's our new guy coming in, offense coordinator coming in. I'm super excited about him and having Cade Klubnik back there. I think he's going to have he's got the tools back there, with our running back. We got a couple great running backs that are ready to hit the ground. They say our defensive line is going to be one of the best in the nation again. We're going to come out. I think we're going to come out pretty strong. I think we're going to see that, that long, exciting, throw those big bombs, big play offense coming out. And that's what I'm really excited about because I think we have the players to do that.
It's hard for anybody to three-peat in any sport, much less win back-to-back titles. And if you think about that too, Georgia going for the unprecedented there too in college football. But I still think you mentioned their defensive front is everything too. And playing different coverages, the new coordinator you have for Dabo to work with now and put these guys in positions to succeed. I expect ever since Deshaun left in the last national title that Clemson won, there's just something about me and of course the ACC, and even with these teams changing the conferences, I mean Clemson's going to be a factor again this year. I really feel like what you said, you hit the nail on the head right there. You did.
Yeah, man. I love college football all the way around too. Like I said, the past 2 years, I feel like Georgia honestly they were the most dominant team. Like right there, Alabama, they were great. They're always going to be great, but I just don't think they were as dominant as Georgia was last year. I'd imagine Georgia's got a good cast coming back this year, but I don't know, man. I'm feeling something good with Clemson. I think they got a good idea and a good a good momentum kind of going behind them. So they got a lot of good things. A lot of young guys that are just super energetic and I think super talented. So
it's going to be a hell of a ride for them too. I think it's going to be another fantastic season, of course, and then college football playoff on the next few years only going to get better and better as it adds teams to it again too. All right, so favorite food, what are you getting into? What's the craving now? Whether you cook it or you get it takeout, what are you getting into now?
I'm a wing guy. I love wings.
All right.
I love cooking my own wings. I love smoking wings, but I love this place in Nashville. It's called Broadway Brew House, and they right downtown, and man, they got these here. They're roasted wings, and so
roasted wings.
Yeah, so they like boil them, I guess, and then they roast them, and they get nice and crispy and stuff like that. And then I'm not a big sauce guy, so I just get I put all my sauce on the side, and I got a good green I rub. Yeah,
I love it. Next time we're up there for an event or something we're doing with the show, I gotta definitely try these roasted wings from your place you're talking about too. I just love it. Now, are you a guy that likes pineapple on your pizza?
I'm okay with pineapple on my pizza.
All right. Okay.
I went some years ago, but then I was like, hey, this is actually kind of daggone good. Let's go.
I tried it a couple of months ago. One of my buddies actually want to say hi to you too. He was on yesterday. I just love it so much. Michael Warren told me to tell you hello. He was on the program yesterday, and he says, y'all gonna cut up and have a good time. He said, ask him if he likes pineapple on his pizza. And I said, I'm gonna do that because just about 2 or 3 months ago, somebody had ordered it, and depending upon where it comes from, for me, it was like, I got to try this as long as ham's with it, not like pineapple and cheese. I got to have the whole Hawaiian thing.
The ham and the pineapple. It's that sweet going on there.
Yeah, it hit the spot. No doubt about it, too. I love it. And that's the best part of it, man. Hey, man, I always love when you guys knock on my door and stop by. This is a fantastic album, product of across all the digital platforms. And be sure you guys go check out the Fox and Friends performance on Lewis's Facebook page out there and give him a like on social media. Brother, every time something good comes up, you guys are ringing my bell. Keep doing it, and appreciate the time. You come back anytime. Hope you enjoyed it.
Man, it's always a good time. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Anytime you want us to come back, we'll have I always have new music coming out, so we'll be hitting
Looking forward to it. Tell the family I said hello to as well, including that great soon-to-be Grand Ole Opry member at some point, Lee Brice out there too, and doing so much for country music, and one of the good guys out there, 2 of them there, Lee Brice and, of course, Lewis Brice out there across all the digital platforms. Go get product of across there, and make sure you guys stream that tomorrow. Surprise show. We'll see what time it comes out. We know Josh Turner is going to be here talking about his greatest hits album, and, of course, next week, Mo Bandy and our good friend T.G. Shepard here on the Backstage Pass presented by Bangtail Whiskey, and our friends over at Honky Tonk Texas, HighTideCountry.net, and powered by the SportsGuys podcast.com. We'll see you soon. Have a great night.